Hey, it is day 5 of a series I'm doing where I'm inviting you to read Acts with me in the month of February. Acts is 28 chapters, and February is 28 days. So what this series looks like is each day in February, I'm reading one chapter of Acts, and each day I post a video sharing what I liked and what stood out to me about the chapter for that day. And if you're reading with me, I would love for you to share what you liked and what stood out to you in the comments. And in this way, it'll be like our own little Bible study in the month of February. So if you want to join me in reading Acts, I would love that. Today is day 5, so this is what I liked about chapter 5 today. What stood out to me about chapter 5 today is how God let the apostles be unstoppable in actions and in mindset. In this chapter, God is allowing the apostles to perform many signs and wonders among the people, and He's allowing them to heal everyone that comes to them. And real quick, something cool about this is an exact answer to prayer from something that they prayed in yesterday's chapter. Stretch out your hand to heal and perform signs and wonders through the name of your holy servant Jesus. And that's exactly what God was doing now. But the high priest took notice of this, and it says that they were filled with jealousy. They arrested the apostles and put them in jail. But God wasn't going to let them be stopped. He sent an angel to break them out of prison in the middle of the night, as it says in verses 19 and 20. But during the night, an angel of the Lord opened the doors of the jail and brought them out. Go, stand in the temple courts, he said, and tell the people all about this new life. And that's exactly what they did, as it says in verse 21. At daybreak, they entered the temple courts, as they had been told, and began to teach the people. So an angel came and broke them out of prison, and then told them to go do the exact thing that they were put in prison for. But the disciples weren't afraid, and they did exactly what they were told. So the high priest couldn't stop the disciples by putting them in jail, and the fear of getting put back in jail was not going to stop the apostles either. So once the high priest realized that the disciples weren't in the securely locked and guarded jail, but were instead in the temple courts preaching again, they were at a loss, and they were like, alright, we gotta bring these guys back in. And when they brought them back in, they said in verse 28, we gave you strict orders not to teach in this name. But it says in verse 29, Peter and the other apostles replied, you must obey God rather than human beings. So their mindset was one that was going to do whatever God had told them to do, no matter what. The apostles then told them about Jesus, and they became so furious that they wanted to kill the apostles. But one of the Pharisees put everyone out of the room, and he said to the others, leave these men alone, let them go, for if their purpose or activity is of human origin, it will fail. But if it is from God, you will not be able to stop these men. You will only find yourselves fighting against God. And what he said was true, because in all these stories, clearly the apostles were from God, and clearly they could not be stopped. After he said this, they let them go, and I love what their mindset was in verse 41. It says, the apostles left the Sanhedrin, rejoicing because they had been counted worthy of suffering disgrace for the name. What a perspective and way to look at that. And that is an unstoppable mindset, that no matter what happens, they find the good in it, and they rejoice. And it says in verse 42, day after day in the temple courts and from house to house, they never stopped teaching and proclaiming the good news that Jesus is the Messiah. It says that they never stopped because they could not be stopped, because they were from God. And this just encouraged me today that whenever something is from God, whenever we're living by the Spirit and doing what He's called us to do, nothing can stop His plan for us. And when we're full of God's Spirit and living according to what He's called us to do, we can be unstoppable too, in actions and in mindset. And this was encouraging to me today. Thanks for joining me for day 5 today. Come back tomorrow for day 6, where we'll look at chapter 6 of Acts.